Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kara. I am a homeschool mom of 2 kids in 7th grade and 4th grade. And today I just thought I'd show you a little bit of my planning for the month of September. Even though September has already started, we still have about 3 weeks left. And I'm trying to get better at looking at the month as a whole and getting as much prepped and planned ahead for that month as I can. And then looking on to future months, I've been putting a lot of time and effort into homeschool lately, and I'd like to try to get to a point where not my entire day is spent in one way, shape, or form working on school stuff. So I'm trying to do some more planning ahead, and yeah, so I've made out my planner for the week of the 9th, and I plan to make out the rest of the weeks the same way. Previous weeks, I did not list out my kids' independent work. I just wrote independent work, but I found that as we're going through, I really like to be able to see everything that's on their plate for the day, and to check it off, because it really helps me to be able to check things off, and visually have an idea of where we are. The details of each of their subjects, I'm still just putting in their planners as far as like page numbers and things like that, but I did decide to add in kind of a little list for each of their independent work, and I'm going to do that. That's how I'm going to set up the rest of the weeks in September as well. But I thought I'd show you some of what I have planned basically for our group things for September, or just in general, kind of what's on my mind. So a lot of our morning group work doesn't usually take up a lot of time, but this particular week it probably will. So we're working on a lot of election things in our group work on Fridays, which is when we do the bulk of our group work. We have an election unit study that we've been working on based on this book and some printables from Teachers Pay Teachers and some other things that I have been adding in. So typically we do this on Fridays. However, there is a chapter coming up with a section on the debates in it, and I had bought a problem-based learning unit from Royal Fireworks Press. I made a whole other video on this, so I will link that, but this is going to take longer than one morning to do. So at some point in September, this will be added in, and we will do it a little bit every day during our morning time, or we might even do it actually in the evening so that my husband can be a part of it. But this will be added in September. I'm pretty sure I think this is towards the end of September that this will be added in, but it goes with this, which we normally do Fridays, but it'll be added in daily just so that we can get through it. But also, I made another video too about all the amazing like election resources, and I had picked up the Mint and Bloom election study. It's come out in multiple parts. They're up to part 4 right now, and so I really wanted to, we did, last week we did part 1, and I just spread it out over the week. We did, I think 3 days. We split it into 3 days, and that worked really well, and I would love to continue it that way. However, part 4 is about the debates, and since the debates are on the 10th, I wanted to get to part 4 before Tuesday. And we've only done part 1 so far. So we actually ended up doing part 2 over the weekend. And the plan is to do part 3 on Monday the 9th. And then part 4 we can do Tuesday morning as part of our group work, so that we can, there's an activity in it that goes with the debate. So normally I wouldn't kind of try to squeeze those in so tightly, but I really want to get to this unit before the debate. So also for September, we're going to do a September 11th unit. I found this free week-long study from History Quest. It takes a chapter from, I believe, from History Quest, American History. Let's see. And then they've just built kind of a week-long study around it. I don't plan to do it for a whole week. We're just going to pull some pieces and parts and do it as part of our group work the morning of September 11th. I put a bunch of the like suggested reading books on hold at the library. So we will have those out throughout the week, but we're just going to kind of condense this to do a little one-day study on it. And yeah, so that's planned for the 11th. And what else extra do we have planned this month? For our creative writing this month, we are doing, let me find it. So this will take the next 3 weeks. We're going to use this picture book called Spork, which is really cute. And we're going to do, there's a chapter in it in this book, text structures from picture books. So we are going to do some of the activities one week and then a couple of the other activities the following week. And then the week after that, I have this writing center that we have been using different ones. This one is object mashups, so I thought it went really well after reading that book, Spork. So there's different mashup categories, and there are some like pre-writing graphic organizers to use, and yeah, so then they can write their little story, basically a descriptive paragraph. So I thought that would go well. So that will take us through the rest of September for our creative writing. Also, I would like to add spelling in at some point in September. This was a program that I got to try more for my 4th grader than my 7th grader, because she has been through 2 of the phonetic zoo levels, but I do think continuing to work with spelling will be helpful for her. But I think I made a note. I want to try adding next week. So not the week of the 9th, but the following week. I want to see about trying to add this in. I have the workbook 3 and workbook 4. This one for my 4th grader and this one for my 7th grader. But this is going to take some brain power from me, so I wasn't ready to add it in yet. But hopefully next week we will be adding that in. Then as we look forward to the following week in September, I think, let me see here. Oh yeah, Constitution Day is September 17th. And we're just diving into all things related to our government apparently this month. But I think it's good. Layering things for my kids is really good. We don't just cover it once. We cover things multiple times in different ways, and that seems to really benefit them. So I went on to iCivics and found some Constitution Day lessons on there, and they look really great, and there's some games you can play along with them. But so I printed out some, I have to decide which one I'm going to do. I printed 2 different units, the Constitution Day lesson and then the anatomy of the Constitution. And then there's also some games, and I printed, there's lessons you can do with the games too. I printed way more than I need, just FYI, and I'm aware of that. But there is a Race to Ratify game. I downloaded this on our iPad. And what's the other one? There's teacher's guides for everything. Oh, and then Constitutional Compromise is another game I downloaded to the iPad. So one of those we'll be doing, and probably this Constitution Day lesson as well. And we'll do that as part of our morning work on the 17th for Constitution Day. Normally I don't like our morning group work to be this involved, but apparently in September there are certain days where it's going to be, especially this current week, I think. I think honestly, until we get to the election, our morning work's probably going to be pretty full, but that's fine. Also this month I am working, my daughter is reading Prairie Lotus as part of Lightning Lit Storm Level, and I love this book. I've read it before, but I have decided to do Lightning Lit with her for a few weeks and really dive deep into this book with her. So I have gathered a bunch of information. I have some vocabulary sheets that I made for her to do. We're writing in the book as we go. I'm circling words that I think she might not know. I'm, all kinds of things that I'm marking, and then she and I are discussing it, which has been really great. I printed out some information from the author and resources from the author, some different little articles I want us to read. And then I found this this super summary online. You can, it's kind of like a subscription service. They have a ton of great books, like reader's guides available. You can also buy individual guides I found from them on Amazon. But anyway, I got this from Super Summary. It is very, very thorough. And even though I'm reading the book along with her, I like to have something else to go through and kind of like, are there things that I missed or didn't think to talk about? We're really practicing with close reading. And I think that's just something you have to do one-on-one with your kids. And so that's kind of what we're working on. And this has been really, really helpful. I think I signed up for like a year access and it was $36 for the year, but there's so many books in there that you normally wouldn't find reader's guides for. There's not like activity pages or anything like that. It's really just kind of like a Spark Notes or something like that. So what she and I have been doing is doing Lightning Literature together, but also adding it on Fridays, kind of like a poetry tea time inspired book discussion where we have some coffee and cookies and we dig a little deeper into the book. And I've been having her doing some notebooking along with it. We've been taking notes on the characters and doing some vocabulary sheets and, looking at characterization and looking at different themes and all of that. So that's been really great. And she has really enjoyed adding in that kind of book discussion on Fridays. So that has been going great, and that will carry us through the rest of September as far as her Lightning Lit goes. In fact, I think she's only got, 2 more weeks of that, maybe. This was a book I got. I think I'm going to add in for Constitution Day. It's not really one that lends itself to being read out loud, but I think I'm going to give my kids this an option to do some independent reading. This is from the Big Ideas That Change the World. It's called We the People. There's a lot of really good information in this book. So I thought that might be a good time to put this one out there for my kids. Also, as we're doing the Prairie Lotus, I borrowed this book from the library again, Made in Asian America, A History for Young People. And we're trying to read through some of this on Fridays when we do our book discussion. So I think that this is a really excellent book. So we will continue that in September as well. Now, something new, I purchased this thinking I wanted to add it in for my daughter. But as I kind of looked at our schedule and the way our days laid out, I think that I'm going to do this. I don't want to overfill our morning group time, and it's already kind of full, especially this week. So I may wait till next week, I'm not sure, but I thought this is short enough, like the chapters, that I could do this for both my kids in the morning. So we'll see. At some point in September, though, this is going to come in. It's not replacing anything. It's just adding another layer of learning. And this is more like vocabulary, root words and words. They're hard. The stems of words and things like that. So this, I just bought the digital PDF of this. And so at some point in September, this is going to be added in. I think that that's mostly, let's see, I did creative writing, our election, game logic. We just do the next lesson in the book, and I don't know where I put the book. Let's see, it's hiding somewhere. All right, well, I think you all know what that looks like because I've shown it before. Somewhere we have game logic. So that's not changing, and big ideas, I've shown that before. And then just our Friday notebooks, which is the same every week. Our read alouds, we have at least another week of Tristan Strong, and then we will move on to, I believe, the one I picked to go with our election stuff, which is Susie B. Won't Back Down. And I believe I have something to do with that one. Let's see. Is it in here? Yes. So I have a discussion guide to go with that. So as soon as we finish Tristan Strong, we will move on to this. We're also still reading our Absolutely Everything book. And then I'm going to add in Madam President, which was a Build Your Library book suggestion. We're not doing a ton from the Build Your Library election unit, but we are going to do some of the books. So I thought that this Madam President book would be good added into our read aloud time in the evening. So that'll get added in September. What did I write here? Try adding BL to group work. Oh, building language. If I can read my own notes. Building language, that's what that was. I already talked about that. So that is kind of how our September is looking like. Those are the plans that I have, and not too much is changing as far as the kids' individual work. I don't think I'm adding in anything really for either one of them. So most of my plans for September kind of revolve around our group work. So anyway, oh, and we do some kind of writing revolution, writing, a little bit of writing in the morning with our group work. Last week we did the Bill of Rights, and the week before that, the 2 weeks before that, we did the writing of the Constitution. So this week we're going to be writing about the First Amendment. We're going to do something with September 11th on September 11th, then we'll do the Second Amendment, and then likely we will continue that through September, just the different amendments and writing about them using kind of the writing revolution technique. So that's what I have planned for that. I think that's pretty much everything. So hopefully this is helpful for you to see kind of what we have planned for September. And if so, let me know in the comments, and I will do similar for October and onward. So if you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will talk to you in the comments.